What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS, here to bring you guys that DFS slate breakdown for the 7-game NBA slate we got over here on DraftKings. I do apologize for the sniffles and everything your boy's gonna have while being on the stream. It snowed, so I had to go show them kids how to have a little snowball fight and whatnot. But if you guys new here, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content I drop over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money. Last night, nothing for me to write home about. It was definitely a mixing pot of results in regards to what I had. The core didn't do too bad actually for what it was. Let's actually get a quick recap of that right there. Let me get that pulled up. Props, they did okay. Definitely could did better. I knew I should have stuck with my gut and not mess with my boy Bam Adebayo. DeAndre Ayton, though, he might have got himself off of the ban list when it comes down to looking at him. I definitely can't say that. But again, if you guys watched the stream yesterday, I said a couple of key things that I was going to focus on, and I did exactly just that. Definitely helped you guys make a very good core if you guys followed it. Anthony Black, if Cole Anthony is out, we're going to be looking towards Anthony Black. Boom, popped off, had a great game, fire. Khalil Ware, if they started him, and even if they didn't, I still liked him for value. The dude is a fantasy point per minute player, and I truly do believe he is the future center for the Miami Heat. Go ahead, get rid of Bam. Ware, hero. That's your, Ware, hero, Jaime Jaquez Jr. That's your building blocks right there for Miami. If you're trying to actually create a good foundation. Hero showing he could be not necessarily an all-star or anything like that, but this kid Ware, the defensive upside, rebounding, very good rebounding. Offensive upside that he has, able to stretch the floor and everything already. Love the upside that I'm seeing from him. The only one that really sucked in this core was Wendell Carter Jr. It was a coin flip for me between him, KCP, and Paolo Banchero. Should have went with Paolo instead as my second stud, but unfortunately I did not do that. And then last but not least, the boy, the man, the myth, legend, Anthony Davis went out there, of course, and had a very great game going against the Washington Wizards, which kind of expected. Definitely close enough to what Joker put up, the 70+ triple-double and everything. And for the price tag that AD had, very, very, very good. Did not have to play the Joker if you played AD, so it was okay. It was safe. It was all right. But quick recap of that right there. I still got to do my full recap over here on the Patreon. If you guys looking for more stuff like that, check the link down in the description below so you guys can check that out. Only $5, $5. It's one way to help support the channel. If you don't want to support the channel by doing that, just make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, drop a like, talk to me down in the comment sections, let me know what you guys are enjoying about these videos, and it helps me out over here. All right. Looking at the injury report for today, because of course this wouldn't be the NBA if we didn't have to worry about injuries and stuff that we have to pay attention to as we continuously go ahead and look through and look at the stuff right here. One of, if not what I consider probably going to be a game of the night for me, just because it's two pretty decent teams going up against each other. Fast paced, it should be. We got Detroit taking on Atlanta. Detroit, no real injury news for us to worry about. Ivy, we know he's going to be out for a while. For Atlanta Hawks, Jalen Johnson, game time decision. Possible that he might not play here. Trae Young expected to play. The big thing is over here for Atlanta. The big move. Onyeka Okongwu is officially and finally starting. Started that last game, which kind of makes sense. He was popping off left and right over his last couple games, coming off the bench, outplaying Clint Capella in 25 minutes. Just made sense, which it's been a thing. They've been trying to shop Clint Capella for years. I wouldn't be surprised if Clint is finally actually moved this time and they can probably build up some depth for them over there. Minnesota taking on Dallas. Dante DiVincenzo, he is still out for Dallas side. Klay Thompson, game time decision. Derek Lively might be back today. If Lively's out, we're going to see Gaffer right back inside the starting lineup right there. Phoenix Suns taking on Brooklyn. Bradley Beal, game time decision. He was back last game and he did play. Brooklyn on their side, Ben Simmons was held out yesterday. We know he typically doesn't play back-to-back, things like that. So he should more than likely play today. The big thing is going to be what are they going to do with D'Angelo Russell? Is D'Lo actually playing today? If D'Lo plays today, I do like him actually. Here we have seen him and Ben Simmons both play at the same time and play in the same games, things like that. And he's not bad whenever he does actually have the chance to play and do those things over there. And then Williams, their other guy, he's also game time decision. I would not be surprised if we get that Cam Johnson is going to be held out today, or some of these other players, because we do know Brooklyn, they are tanking. They're tanking. It's just straight up what it is. They are tanking. They typically do rest some of their guys, especially on back-ends and back-to-backs and things like that if they played the night before. So definitely keep an eye out on that right there for the Brooklyn Nets. Luckily, one of the first games of the night, since this is a 7:30 start, we will have that news. Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's going to be playing. No real news to report over here. AJ Green, he's out. New Orleans Pelicans, this is another one that we want to pay attention to because this game, it has some goodness, and it's only a 5.5 point spread. Very interested in looking at doing a same game parlay for this game right here as well, especially considering that 5.5 spread, 234.5 total. It's the Pelicans. It's the Pelicans. But DeJounte Murray, game time sitting, expected to play Zion. Gotta know if he's going to be back. If Zion's back, even on limited minutes, he's been playing very well. Messi, if he's going to be out again, then we are going to see Daniel Theis get the start again, which he has started the last 2 games that Messi has missed. Cleveland, they're still without Evan Mobley. Karis LeVert, he was sick last game, so Max Strus got the start. Pay attention to that right there. Houston, Jabari Smith Jr., he's still going to be out for some time. This game right here, OKC Thunder, 17.5 point spread. That is crazy for my Thunder. Utah Jazz, Lord Larkin, game time decision. He's missed a handful of games. Same thing with John Collins. He's missed a handful of games. Would be interesting if both of these guys are back. This could be an audition for Colin Sexton going up against my Thunder. I wouldn't mind if we actually get him to help solidify the bench unit, especially since we lost our boy AJ Mitchell, who was very promising in regards to that role. I do think we do need a secondary ball handler over there, even though they are trying to work and get Kaysen to be comfortable in that role, which makes sense. I get it, but I would like to see someone who is a bona fide scorer, and he does have decent defense out there. Would be nice to get. Jalen Williams, he's a game time decision. Missed the last game with a hip. I wouldn't be surprised if he was held out here today, just simply because it's the Utah Jazz. You got Shea out there. You're pretty good to go ahead and win this game. You don't need Dub to be out there as well. Charlotte Hornets, Trey Mann, Brandon Miller, they're both out. We're going to see Nick Smith still get that start for Brandon Miller. Memphis Grizzlies side, LaRavia looks like he's a game time decision, but other than that, their main starters, their guys, they're back, they're good to go. Then the 2 late night hammer games, we got Golden State Warriors taking on the Sacramento Kings. I'm only covering this because your boy is doing FanDuel. People have been asking me, I've gotten a couple of DMs and stuff for people asking for FanDuel stuff. I'm only doing FanDuel cores. I'm not still covering FanDuel inside of my videos, but I will just give this right here real quick. For the Warriors, they're still dealing with a ton of injuries. Draymond Green, we know he's going to be out. Pod's out. Kuminga's out. Kyle Anderson's out. Pretty tight rotation that they got over here for the Warriors, and some bench players that they're having to use. A lot of uses pretty much being condensed with Steph Curry, Dennis Schroeder, Andrew Wiggins, and then Tracy Jackson Davis. Whenever it's a pretty decent matchup, he's popping off and he's doing very well. This should be one of those spots right here going up against Sabonis and the Sacramento Kings, who have no injuries, nothing to worry about over here. Malik Monk, you already know what he is. The boy's going to chug it. He's going to shoot. He's also going to be able to dish the rock and do those things very well. Like his upside, if you can't get up to De'Aaron Fox, that would be your next tier right there. DeMar DeRozan has a pretty good matchup. He's been playing pretty consistently. Like his upside as well. His price is not bad at all if you're trying to get there. Boston Celtics taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. Drew Holiday game time decision. Al Horford game time decision. I need to look and see if Boston's on the front end of a back-to-back, because if they are, sometimes they do tend to rest players and things like that. But if the Clippers are missing like Harden, Powell, Chris Dunn, Kawhi Leonard's already been ruled out, I would not be surprised if Holiday and Al Horford were rested in this game and we didn't have to worry about it. That would definitely just bump up Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser. Those guys will get a bump. Derek White, Jason Tatum, both those guys leading the charge. KP, this should be an easy day for him, but not something I'll prioritize trying to get to if you have to include this game and if you're looking at it right there. All right, heading on over to DraftKings, the site I play the most on the site. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. Like I said, first game of the night. Honestly, to me, I see a lot of upside, and in this, if it stays fast-paced, Detroit has been playing very well over the last several games. As we can see, Atlanta, they're starting to get stuff clicking, they're rolling, they're messing around with their starting lineups, things like that. They're getting players back. Everyone's looking like they're gelling. For me, on Detroit side of things, Cade Cunningham, I don't have to talk about it. You already know Cade, 10-2. One of the spend up options. If you're not going to pay it for Shea, which I don't think you have to necessarily, especially if Dub is in, I don't feel like I need to go to Shea. I have Giannis on the slate going up against the Pelicans. I got Cade Cunningham going up against Atlanta, who he torched the last time that he played them, going up against them earlier this season. 10-2, not bad. Ball is in Cade's hands. He is doing a ton. He did have a ton of turnovers last game. 10 turnovers. It's crazy. But 54.25 fantasy points. Add another 5 on top of that if he didn't have those turnovers. And we're looking at almost 60 fantasy points for him. here in the position spot. Let's see, going up against Atlanta earlier this season when he did play versus them, if they have that, yep, here we go, 36 minutes, drop 60.75 fantasy points. I'll take that for a 10-2 Kate Cunningham. The upside that he has, the shooting, the scoring, the rebounding, the playmaking, all that is there for him. Tobias Harris definitely could look there, especially if Jalen Johnson was to miss. I know it's been very hit or miss with Tobias up and down normally throughout the season, but with Ivy going down, he's seen more of a consistent role, especially with the shooting and the scoring. He was very cold last game, 2 of 9, going up against Houston. Tough team, tough defensive matchup. I'm not going to fault him, not going to mess with it. I did see a couple of his shots actually go towards Asor because he was going up against his brother. Amen, Asor. Whatever Thompson is on Detroit. There we go. But just looking at it right there, this should be a easy day in regards to Tobias Harris. A good matchup, especially if Jalen Johnson misses 5,600. I can see myself going ahead and getting there. And then I got to talk about my boy Jalen Duren, 5,500, and the dude's been good game versus Houston, going up against Shangoat. I was worried about him getting into foul trouble. Didn't do it. Was rebounding very well, especially on the offensive side. 16 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 4 steals. I'm not going to say he's going to reproduce exactly that stat line right there, but he did not play in that game versus Atlanta earlier this season when they did play. And if we can get that consistency between him and also playing with Cade, love the upside for what we can get for Jalen Duren. 5,500. There's a ton of decent value at the center position that will let me pay up for a Giannis, for a Cade, for Shea if I want to get there and things like that. And Jalen Duren is one of those that can make that happen at that 5.5 price tag, making it very easy to even look and be enticed to go there. Tim Hardaway Jr., Asor Thompson, those guys right there, we can look there, look in that direction. Tim, he got to be knocking down the shots. 4K, that's not a bad price tag for him. Asur, we know he's going to be out there. He's going to play mid 25 minutes whenever he's out there. Decent fantasy point per minute producer when he is. If you land right there on either one of those players, that's not bad at all. Over here on the Atlanta side, Jalen Johnson misses. That's more assists and more upside for Trae Young, who we know balls in his hands. He's dealing with the Achilles. He's probable. He's expected to fully go ahead and play. Scoring looks like it's back there for Trae right now. Of course, we know he can go out there and get double-digit assists. When he played going up against Detroit earlier this season, he did go out there. I want to say he had 13 assists in that game, if I am not mistaken. Yep, 13 assists, 35 points, 64 fantasy points scored. Going right back to Trae Young, I can see myself wanting to definitely get there 9-6. He has the same upside that I see Cade has. So you can definitely take the 600 discount and get Trae Young instead. Maybe do Trae Young and Jalen Duren from this game, since it is a high scoring affair and expect to be a pretty good game. Now, outside of that, if Jalen Johnson misses, then of course we are going to look towards Dyson Daniels, who's been playing very well. We know he can go ahead and steal the block, leading the league in steals, but the offensive side of the bag has been coming along for him. We know he can play make as well and get the rebounds. 7,200, I can see that as a mid-ish tier option that we can definitely mess with and go to as a possibility. But the main play that's cheap, we can just go right here to Onyeka Okongwu, 5-6. Now, this is where you're going to have to make your decision. Am I playing Jalen Duren or am I going to play Onyeka Okongwu? That's where the toss-up is going to come. Now, I already spoke about it. You can run Trae Young, Jalen Duren. You can run Kate Cunningham, Onyeka Okongwu. Run the pairs like that if you're thinking of something of doing it that way. But Okongwu, I can't ignore what he's going out there doing. Fantasy point per minute produced when he's out there on the court. Very high upside. Love it. The matchup going up against Detroit, it's not a bad one. We can definitely see Okongwu, his chops, and what he can actually do out there should be definitely needed and used. Just a high energy and everything. Hopefully he can keep himself out of foul trouble going up against Jalen Duren. Hopefully neither one of these guys get themselves into foul trouble, but the ability for him to actually be able to stretch the floor and knock down some threes, that'll definitely help going up against a big such as Jalen Duren, who does tend to be inside the paint and things like that. So I do like the upside for Onyeka Okongwu. 5,600 definitely would be someone I would look to and keep inside the bag. Outside of that, if Jalen Johnson misses, then yeah, we can look towards DeAndre Hunter. Definitely look towards Vic Krejci, but 5,900 for DeAndre Hunter, I'm not too interested right there when I can just come down here and get Okongwu, who has a better upside just because he's not relied so heavily on just the scoring as such as DeAndre Hunter. All right there. And then Vic Krejci, even though, you know, he's out there just chucking it up and just there pretty much, dude's been pretty decent. I can see him as if I land there, I wouldn't mind playing it and I can go there. Ricochet, he's going to be out for some time too, so definitely the minutes should be there for him as well. Phoenix Suns taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Again, from this game, we have to get that Brooklyn Nets news because that definitely is a deciding factor for a lot in regards to how we can build from the Brooklyn Nets side if you want to get some run back pieces. On the Phoenix Suns side of things, Kevin Durant going up against his former team. That right there, 9,300, that's very enticing. We know for the starting lineup, it's Kevin Durant, it's Devin Booker. Those two pretty much a 1-2 punch. KD, out of his last 5 games, he's had 2 where he's gone over 50 fantasy points, and that would be something I would expect and want here in the spot. It's not like Phoenix are world beaters by any means out there. Hopefully, we can flip the coin right between Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Both of them have good matchups here. D-Book went out there, pretty much fell flat in that last game. Kevin Durant, he went out there and he did okay versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. They got their asses whooped 92-118. This definitely will be a get back, get right spot for them going up against a weak Brooklyn Nets team. So either one of these guys, Kevin Durant or Devin Booker, I can see myself getting to just because the matchup is pretty simple, easy going up against the Brooklyn Nets. Nick Rich, last game, did not have it going up against the Cavaliers. That was a tough matchup. I get it. Just makes sense. Now, we'll say going up against the Brooklyn Nets, where we can attack them with opposing centers, something that we've done for years on end. I can see him getting up there to 30 fantasy points in this matchup, maybe a double-double actually here. So I wouldn't mind going back to what we were expecting for Nick Rich here. I definitely would take it. Hopefully you can keep yourself out of foul trouble. 5 fouls in that game going up against Cleveland. Makes sense. You're going up against Jared Allen, a pretty good center right there. When it comes down to it, when it comes down to value over here, maybe you're like, I don't want to pay up for the studs of KD or Devin Booker. I have the studs I bought in other games. I would take Nick Rich as a value piece that you can get from over here. Ryan Dunn, if Bradley Beal's back, I'm really not looking there towards him because those minutes are kind of like, because there's so much they can rotate there. Jared Allen, Royce O'Neal, those guys, they're still getting minutes and run right there. I'm not too interested, but Nick Rich would be the favorite play over there from the Suns. Over here on the Brooklyn Nets side, I have to have that news in regards to what's going on with Ben Simmons, or if they're going to be resting like D'Angelo Russell and Cam Johnson, things like that. If D'Lo's in 6,200, I think he can go low owned, and he would be one of the driving forces and actually keeping them in the game, just because good shooter whenever he's actually on one. Playing at home, typically plays well whenever he's playing in a home environment. 50.5 fantasy points last night. I don't expect another double-double, which I will say I did play it over on the books last night. Thank you, D'Lo, for respecting the coin. Definitely saved my night. But still, he can go out there and put up a decent fantasy point number. 39.25 fantasy points would be something I can see in the realm for what he can do. Granted, that was going up against the Portland Trailblazers, but the sky's the limit in regards to what D'Lo can actually go out here and do, especially with Ben Simmons out there to help facilitate and things like that. Maybe get him some open shots. I don't mind him at 6,200. Definitely be someone I would look to as a value-ish piece, mid-tier option that you can look at. Everyone else over here on the Brooklyn Nets side, it really just hinges on the daggone news. Ben Simmons would be a GPP option that we can go to. 5,800, a little bit cheaper than D'Angelo Russell, but doesn't have the same scoring upside. You can definitely look there. Will be low owned. Maybe you can go out there and get us about a 30-ish fantasy point. That definitely could be something. Cam Johnson, if he's in, then they're going to have to rely on his scoring. You can look there for a fact. And then Claxton, as long as Nick Rich is out there, you're going to have a pretty much big body center to actually be able to match up with that. Kept himself out of foul trouble last night versus New York, so wouldn't mind looking towards him right there as well. Minnesota taking on Dallas. Now, there's a couple of pieces over here on the Minnesota side, and I'm not talking about Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, Mike Conley over here. Even though if I had to choose between those guys, Mike Conley, as long as he's starting, you don't have Dante DiVincenzo. We know that he's probably going to be capped right around the 22-25 minutes, and that's simply because of the value piece that I think maybe still might go under owned, people not pay too much attention to, but should be on our radars now, and that's going to be Dillingham. Over here, 3,100, and the minutes are starting to tick up. Dante DiVincenzo went down and out. Dillingham's minutes have been creeping up. He's very confident. He's definitely taking the shots. Looks like Ant has him underneath his wing and is trying to mentor the young buck over here. But again, 17 minutes on the game versus the Memphis Grizzlies. 23.25 fantasy points, 15 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Not bad at all. I would take a stab at him, especially if I'm trying to shove a bunch of studs into my line. That would be something that you can look towards right there, especially just because we know they're not going to play Mike Conley a hell of a lot of minutes. Mike Conley's not touching 30 minutes a night. He's not. Granted, 4K, still decent value because we know Mike still has it, but they are not going to play him heavy, and especially with Nickeil Alexander-Walker playing like dog shit whenever they're giving him some minutes. Dillingham is really making that case for that role right there, and he's looking pretty good. Don't mind going right there to him, taking a stab at it as some GPP value. I can see myself getting there to Dillingham. Now, outside of that, Anthony Edwards, Ant is Ant. I don't have to talk about it or try to convince you in regards to that. If you want to play Anthony Edwards, that's totally fine. I could definitely see it in regards to it. But Julius Randle, I don't know how the hell I always keep ending up getting myself back here, but Julius Randle had a pretty bad shooting night the last time going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, 2 of 13. Normal shooting night, along with the rebounds, the playmaking, everything else he was doing. Great fantasy point output for him, and I don't mind going right back to him here in the spot. Last time going up against the Dallas Mavericks earlier this season, actually both games that he's played versus in the season, he's dropped over 40 fantasy points versus them. I will go back to Julius Randle. Do not mind going right back to Julius Randle. Like it, I'll go right back to the spot. No issues, no problems. Outside of that, Naz Reid, if you're looking between Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert, they're $100 difference. Naz is definitely the better offensive player, the better upside, can't miss from 3 right now. Another player, if you're looking for like a ladder play, I would definitely look towards Naz Reid as a possible ladder play that you can get to and go to on tonight. Maybe taking him for it, depending on what the base is for his threes. But he's chucking and he's hitting and he's knocking them down. 3 threes, 4 threes, 5 threes. That could be something that you can look towards. Depends on what their baseline is for him. But choosing between the two, I'll take Naz over Rudy. There's no reason that I have to look at Rudy or go to Rudy. Like that's just it is what it is over there for that. On the Dallas side of things, if Lively is in, then okay. If he's out, then Daniel Gafford, he's going to get the start. He's going to play, and he has been literally out there destroying. Granted, it was the Charlotte Hornets, 71.75 fantasy points. My God, 31.7 blocks, 3 assists, 15 fucking rebounds. That is madness. Yeah, no, you can definitely go there to Gafford if Lively is going to be out. Not a must or force play that you have to get to, but if not, then of course look towards our Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyrie Irving, PJ Washington, Klay Thompson. If he's in, that's definitely something you can consider. If he's out, then maybe we could see an upside for us in regards to, where is he at? Oh, Hardy's already out. Oh, damn. That's not good. Najee Marsh is questionable. Quentin Grimes is questionable. We got to get this Dallas news. We might actually have some value over here, because if they don't have some of these main guys that they have, they might have to start a pretty big lineup. Maybe Maxi Kleber is going to have to play the... Oh, no, they could start Prosper at the 4. We're going to have to pay attention to this Dallas news. Outside of just Gafford, if Lively's out, Spencer Dinwiddie right there, Kyrie Irving, PJ Washington, I'm not too interested in too much over there from those guys right there. I just realized as well, I forgot to give you guys the same game parlay that I like over here for the Detroit game. Cade Cunningham, 8 assists. 8 assists for Cade Cunningham. Trae Young, 9, 10 assists. I like that right there for him. Jalen Duren for 10 rebounds, 10 points, double-double pretty much if you want to take that right there as well. And then Jalen Johnson, if he's in, I like him for 15 to 18 points would be what I'm looking at right there for that. Nice little same game parlay. And if you want to pair it up with something just to sweeten up the odds just a little bit on it, you could take the Milwaukee Bucks money line and just pair it up in regards to that right there for a same game parlay and run it like that. I want to get this Jalen Johnson news. I might just go ahead and lock in the ticket without the Jalen Johnson news, but it's something that I wrote down. I balled it today right there, looking at everybody's averages and what they do with the matchup and everything. And I really do like the upside for that one right there for a play. All right, Charlotte Hornets taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Another game where we're going to get another value piece in play that we can actually go to, that we don't have to force any craziness, but also has upside actually for us. On the Charlotte Hornets side of things, I don't have to talk into LaMelo Ball. 10-7. Melo's going to be Melo. He's going to do what he does. 10-7, though, is a pretty steep price tag, coming off of 50.75 fantasy points versus the Dallas Mavericks. You definitely can't go there, but Bridges, I like his upside, 7,600. That's right there. Not a bad spot. Going up against JJJ, decent defender, but we have seen some power forwards be able to go out there and have decent games going up against them. Last game versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Granted, this was last year when he played versus them. He dropped at least 40 fantasy points in both games that he played versus them. Mark Williams, his upside, it's still there as well. Popping off 40, 54, 57, 52. Nick Rich gone. Mark Williams is here. And I'm not worried about the Zach Edey matchup. I don't think Edey, I'll talk more about it on that right there, but I'm not worried about Edey. I'm not worried about Edey at all. Mark Williams, love his upside, 7K. The dude is also another player that we can look to as a walking double-double as well. Maybe I might be able to come up with something for this game as another same game parlay she could possibly take. But Mark Williams, the upside, the sky's the limit right there for the kid. And I like it right there. outside of that, the only other player that I truly do have interest in is just because he's starting, and it's pretty much like that Rob Dillingham play. But Nick Smith Jr., even though you're out there playing with Miles Bridges, you're playing with LaMelo Ball, who chuck up a ton of shots, you're still yourself also getting double-digit numbers in regards to field goals attempted. You also can stuff the stat sheet and do other things besides just score, but scoring with some pretty good efficiency over his last couple games. Love the upside, 20+ fantasy points in his last 2 games that he started for them. 3,200, I would definitely take a stab and graze out as my top value play for today. And I'm going to be very honest right now, starting out my lines, Nick Rich is the first one that I'm sliding in to go ahead and build just because he is starting. He's been pretty consistent. The matchup is not bad for him going up against the Memphis Grizzlies here, as we've seen the last couple of shooting guards that have gone versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Anthony Edwards, 42 fantasy points. Sam Castle, 32 fantasy points. 32 fantasy points and 36 fantasy points. Jalen Green, 54 fantasy points. Dante DiVincenzo, 57 fantasy points. Jalen Green again, 42 fantasy points. Klay Thompson, 29 fantasy points. Buddy Hield, 21 fantasy points. Nick Smith is pretty much in the realm of Jalen Green in regards to being, he's a shooter. Pretty much in the same realm in regards to like the Sam Castle, the Jalen Greens off this list that I just read off to you guys. You're telling me he could probably go out there and get me about 25 fantasy points at 3,200. There's no questions or anything extra that I have to worry about or that I have to ask myself in regards to justifying wanting to play that kid and go there. He grades out as, like I said, the top value of the day. Now, on the flip side of things, Desmond Bane, who might be his matchup, I like him over here on this side, 7,600. Definitely the block is hot, 42, 57 fantasy points, 37, 33 minutes, chucking up those shots, getting those threes knocked down, but also stuff the stat sheets in all other categories. Love the upside for Desmond Bane at 7,600. Definitely will be in the player pool and another player I can consider. Now, I know I talked about it, the whole thing for Zach Edey. He's just not playing the minutes. That's just it when it comes down to Zach Edey. He's just not playing the minutes. 3,900, 20, 24, 17, 7, 19. We've seen it. They're rather running Santi Aldama out there at that center spot. Jaren Jackson Jr. is just playing small ball center, things like that. So Edey, even though this is a good matchup, it literally is a good match on paper. On paper, paper says this is a very good matchup for him. The minutes are not there for him. Now, you can take a stab at him. If you're making multiple lines, I definitely can see myself playing that if that was the case. But outside of that, I'm not risking it. I'm not forcing it. I'm not like, yo, I got to play this bum. Well, he's not a bum. If he actually just gets some minutes, he's a pretty good player. But 3,900, it's worth it in multiple, if you're playing multiple lines, but not worth it if you're just running one line for today. Outside of that, Desmond Bane, that'll be my favorite play over here from Memphis. Jaren Jackson Jr., I don't have to talk about it. The kid's just been pretty good over his last several games, 44, 30, 33, 31, 46, scoring very well out here, rebounding the ball pretty decently as well. And then we already know he comes with that block and steal upside out there. Going up against the Charlotte Hornets, that should kind of be a very easy day for him to be able to rack up those stats and things like that for him. So like the upside and what we can get right there. Cleveland taking on Houston. I'm going to speed through this one just because I really don't like too much from this game. But Cleveland side of things, they're still without Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jared Allen. All their usage and stuff has gone up. Donovan Mitchell popped off last game, went out there. He dropped 50.75 fantasy points. Last 2 games without Evan Mobley, he's been playing very well, taking a ton of shots, doing all that. The question over here for us, for Cleveland, is going to be Karis LeVert. If Karis LeVert is out, then we're going to see Max Strus back inside the starting lineup. Decent value, 4,100, 100 more than what Karis LeVert is. So what you can do, play Max Strus at the guard spot. I'd say right here, just because we should have that news. And then if LeVert is in the starting, switch down to Karis LeVert. That'd be an easy day thing you can do. Nang off the bench, of course, you can look towards him. Pretty decent producer when he was out there on the court. Garland, 7,400. I do actually like him over Donovan Mitchell today. That would definitely be where I want to go between the two guards. And then Donovan Mitchell, GPP option, but I don't feel like I have to force myself into wanting to play him here in this spot at all. Like I really don't like it when it comes down to it. Over on the Houston side of things, Şengün, playing pretty much lights out. Last game didn't have to do too much, 29 minutes, only 28 fantasy points, but he has been playing very well over his last several games. I can see myself getting there, big for big, going up against Jared Allen. Not bad. I don't hate it at all. Freddie V looked like he's knocking off the rust, playing pretty well. Last game, 43.25 fantasy points. Has at least 3 games where he's gone over 35 fantasy points. You can definitely look there. But I will continue to talk about my boy Jalen Green. Shooter's going to shoot, and he's shooting. I will definitely go right back to him as possible play, 7,700. He's getting up there to where I'm a little bit uncomfortable, but I still don't mind going to him, especially in decent matchups and matchups that should be close. And Houston, they're a good defensive team. They should be able to keep this game close. The fast pace that they play with as well. As long as they don't turn the ball over, they should be okay versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then last but not least, it's going to be Amen Thompson, 8K. I don't have to talk about it. I don't have to go into details for Amen. You already know what Amen goes out there and brings to the table, what he does. Milwaukee Bucks taking on Pelicans. This right here, the spread is close, and that makes me very happy. Just the fact that the spread is close. Giannis, of course, Giannis is going to be in, but the dude's been just balling out like crazy. 6'3", 54, 46, 73, 44. The scoring upside is there. The rebound upside is there. Taking for a double-double today. Take Giannis for 30 points. I definitely do see it in the cards if the Pelicans can keep the game close. 30 points, 10 rebounds, and I'm not even going to mess with the assists, but 30 points, 10 rebounds would be what I would take Giannis for today if I'm looking to get spicy and hot, and then maybe you can mix that in with Damian Lillard for 2 threes and 2 to 3 threes. Yeah, you can take him 3 threes. 2 to 3 threes and take Dame for about 4 to 6 assists. Would be something I could see building out right there. I'm actually gonna go and play around with that too when I get off of this and see what I actually like right there. And then also the Milwaukee Bucks money line. All those things right there. But Giannis, one of my favorite stud, honestly, for today, just because the matchup, the fact that the spread is close, that means, and it's telling me that Zion's going to play a 5.5 point spread, because I don't feel like the Pelicans are 5.5 dogs if Zion is going to be out. So with that being said, love the upside for Giannis in what could possibly be a close game. We know that the Pelicans play little to no defense, and they're just scrounging it out. They've been doing decent in regards to keeping games close and things of that nature. So the upside, it could definitely be there for something. Now, outside of Giannis, of course, Dame Lillard, 8,500, good spot. Guards versus the Pelicans, that's been a thing. That's why I do like his assist, and I definitely see myself. I'm gonna have a lotto today. It's gonna be Detroit and Atlanta and Milwaukee and New Orleans Pelicans. I'm gonna play lines from both of those to make a nice good lotto for today. Milwaukee Bucks money line definitely is gonna be one of those plays in that, and I kind of gave you the idea already for my Detroit and Atlanta one right there. So yeah, no, this is gonna be nice today. It's gonna be nice today. Outside of that, the one player that I got to talk about, 4,800, Brook Lopez, whose minutes looking pretty consistent over these last several games. And you guys know I love playing me a center going up against the New Orleans Pelicans. 4,800. This is your get off of Duren. This is your get off of an Echo Konwu. This is the play right here I'll be comfortable going down to if I want to get off of those plays right there. Bobby Portis, his minute. I think that this is a direct correlation to Bobby Portis. Minutes are just like, that's it. So yeah, definitely Brook Lopez. Love the upside, love the spot for him. That'd be awesome and amazing. If Chris Middleton misses, then I'll be looking towards the Taurean Prince and some of those other guys in the starting lineup, Gary Trent Jr., things like that. But not to worry about anyone else. Really, it's just Giannis, Dames, Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez, amazing value on today's slate. On the Pelican side of things, of course, Zion, if he's in, I'm not worried about the minutes limit because the dude's been crushing even though he's on a minute limit. Like, he's literally destroying when he's out there. So Zion, if he's in, matchup should be great. He's played the Bucks very well in his career. I'll go right there to that. DeJounte Murray, he's been killing it, 8,400. We know that they're going to need him if they want to stay inside this game. 60.75 versus Utah. Chef's kiss right there. And then Trey Murphy, dude's been cooking as well. I definitely would mess with Trey. He hooked me by 1 fucking point last game out there. Went to OT. I really thought he was gonna get it for me. He got the threes, and I was like, okay, he's gonna get there. He's gonna get there. Went to the line, knocked down the 2 free throws. I was like, bro, no. But Trey Murphy, love the upside. Kid's been balling out there. If Zion misses, the upside goes up a little bit more. Even if Zion's in, he's their sharpshooter. And one way that you beat the Bucks is by actually being able to knock down shots and shoot. And I'll go right back over there. CJ McCollum, he's there, but there's decent mid-tier guards that I can get to instead of CJ. And I'd rather get to. Outside of that, only other thing you got to worry about is if Messi misses, then Theis is going to get the start. And when he's out there, plays pretty decently. Would be one that I want to get the no one, because I would take Theis for at least 6 to 8 rebounds, just because whenever he gets the minutes, he's a pretty good rebounder when he's out there on the court. And a big part of why they were able to ice that game last time, that offensive rebound and then the kick out that he got to Trey Murphy for him out there, that was very key and clutch for them to tie up the game. Utah Stinkers going up against my OKC Thunder. To tell you the truth, I really don't have anything too heavy that I like in this game, especially if Dub is in. The one player that I would want to get to, which I will say is Walker Kessler, just because of course we know we're going up against a undersized Thunder team, but they've been able to run every big off the court. I don't think that's going to be any different for Walker Kessler, which is just the scary part, because the dude's a good player when he actually gets the minutes and he can actually go out there and play. The problem is going to be, is he going to be able to stay out there on the court? That's the issue. 6,800, I can see yourself trying to take a stab there. Maybe you think Utah will just stay stuck in their ways, but if Lauri Markkanen is back, if John Collins is actually back, we could see them going small with those guys right there, just to be able to match the Thunder for what they're doing. They actually had a decent guard rotation over here, but the fact that they are missing players, that definitely does mess up something. Cody Williams decided he wanted to go F himself up and mess himself up going up against his brother today, which would have been great if both brothers were actually healthy and good to go. So we're not even going to get to see that matchup for these guys. All in all, Utah Jazz, dumpster fire. We got to know what's going on with these guys. I'll be able to clarify that inside the player pool whenever I actually put that out for today. But I can't really endorse anything over there for those guys. You can look towards Collier, look towards Keontae George. That'll be it that I would feel okay burning my money on. Over here on the OKC side, Shea, I don't have to talk about it. I don't even have to endorse it. J Dub, if he's out, then we will look towards J Will. If Dub is in, I'm not going to worry about playing Jalen Williams. 5K, bit too spicy for my blood, especially when I got Brook Lopez. Brook fucking Lopez. I'd rather play Brook Lopez over Jalen Williams, bro. Like, straight up. Queso will be the only other person that really does spark an interest, just because even when games blow out, he will get a little bit of that run, because like I said, it's like they're trying to get him to be more comfortable being that secondary ball handler. He's been looking like he's going to be officially the starter until we get Hartenstein and Chet back. It's looking like he's going to be the actual starter, so I don't mind looking towards Case and Wallace. Now, if we do think this is going to be a 17.5 point spread, you know, Utah's going to get down bad. This is the only time that I'm ever going to endorse something like this. But Ousmane Dieng, 3,100, has been playing pretty well in those minutes that they're giving him. And that's been some garbage time running minutes. If they are truly going to blow them out, Dieng, I think that he's someone that we're shopping around on the market that we're looking to get rid of. So I could see him being a possible play that you can go to. And then Carlson, which Monday... Hopefully we sign him to his second 10-day contract. I'm not too sure if they did or not. But Brandon Carlson, he's been someone that we've been going to and playing some decent rotation minutes right there at the center spot since our bigs are down. And he's also another player who has been putting up some very good numbers and would be one I wouldn't mind going to as another possible play to go ahead and get to when it comes down to it. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys were able to get a little something from the video. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys actually enjoyed these long drawn out videos right here. I had a lot of fun going ahead and doing it. I'm going to go ahead and finish getting out some more content for you guys. Hopefully everyone has a good day. If you guys are on the East Coast and you got hit with that snow, be safe. Don't be out there being crazy on the roads. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.